And welcome once again to Investor's Edge. I'm Gary Kaltbaum, your host. Hey, thanks for being with us today. Glad you're here, ladies and gentlemen. Happy that you are listening. It is the 24th of July, 2025, and it's another tough day. We'll get to that in a minute. In case you don't know, this is serious talk on everything that affects you, the markets, the economy, your job, your industry, them over in D.C., and whatever else we think matters. And if you do not get this radio show in your city, we'll post it at GaryK.com. We'll also post it on our X feed. I got it right. And if you don't follow us on X, you should. And if you'd like to email us, just be nice. We'll also put it on the podcast apps also. So, as we go through life, we all are a product of our decisions, our choices, and some things you're in control of and other things you are not. That's how it works. We all have our loves, our likes, and our dislikes. And when I was young, my idols were Arnold Palmer in golf, Dusty Rhodes in professional wrestling, Willie Mays in baseball. I was in Vegas and I saw Willie Mays at the ticket counter, and I ran up to him and I said, "Say hey." And he gave me a big smile, and I just said, "Just letting you know how much I love you." And he couldn't have been happier. There's no pictures, no cell phones to take pictures, nothing. But I will never forget that moment. I got to meet Dusty Rhodes every Wednesday at Miami Beach Convention Center. Every Wednesday to watch him fight the bad guy. And when he passed, it hit. In fact, there was some really weird coincidences with that, in that I was in the hospital visiting somebody the same day he showed up at the hospital and passed away that night. You got to realize something, that I lived and breathed him when I was a kid. His famous move is the elbow, and I used to do elbows off of my parents' dresser onto the bed. And Arnold Palmer, loved him, everything about him. And the year before he passed away, I paid some serious bucks to go on a private JetBlue jet to Latrobe, Pennsylvania with my good friend Larry for it was an Arnold Palmer charity event, and I got to meet him. I shook his hand, and it's the first time I was ever up close with him. I was almost crying just meeting this guy. And Hulk Hogan passed away today at 71. I heard he's been ill, but he went home, and I guess he had a heart attack this morning. And as you all know, I'm an insane professional wrestling fan. There's now a 24/7 wrestling channel on Sirius. I could easily be hosting a show better than most of them that are on there, except for the wrestlers. Very tough to outdo the wrestlers, but there are hosts there that are not wrestlers. I'd eat them alive. We all lived and breathed Hulk Hogan. He was the guy. He was the money. I will tell you that one of the worst things that happened for me was I got on a flight from Vegas back to Florida, and he sat down next to me on the plane. And I'm thinking I was going to talk his ear off. And what he says to me, "Would you mind if my friend, who's 2 rows behind, sits here?" And what am I going to do? Say no? And it turned out it was Rick McCord, a jobber, a guy who loses all these matches. But I've met him a couple of times after, and in awe every time of Hulk Hogan. I know there's controversy and all that. I don't give a crap about that today. But as you get older, we're losing all our favorites. I guess this is the norm. When Neil Peart died from Rush, Glenn Frey from the Eagles, Becker from Steely Dan, Johnny Carson, which I watched every night religiously, and pretty much every day now. And anybody that's my age going through the same thing. I'm reading every day about somebody who died who won a Super Bowl when you were younger. And the next person, and the next person. And you know I love the General Hospital and all my children. When I see the actor or actress, I guess that's what you call life now. And now I'm in my 60s. Anybody who meets me thinks I'm in my 40s. And I act like I'm still 16. But I just I got affected today. Because another one of my professional wrestling, and I have other favorites, but he was the guy. Probably three of the top 5 most important moments was Hulk Hogan. Slamming Andre the Giant, turning heel, the greatest heel turn of all time, and then Rock. Against The Rock in WrestleMania 18 had me, I think I've watched that back 100 times. Anyway, Terry Bollea passed away at 71, and you know how you know somebody of import? Every channel is covering it, and not just for 30 seconds, but for a long while. Every professional wrestler is commenting on it. Everybody in the business commenting on it. 71. Ladies and gentlemen, I just spoke to my father a couple of minutes ago, who's going to be 94 in October. And he had said to me, you know, Hulk Hogan passed away. And I said, you know, he's 71. He goes, I know what you mean. You all take care of your health. Alcohol is not cool. Drugs ain't cool. Take care of yourselves. Please. Anyway, that's my little history of my athletes and professional wrestling. And by the way, I will be at SummerSlam in New Jersey next Saturday. I may go Sunday also. They made it 2 nights. But I have ringside for Saturday, camera side also. So you'll be seeing me if you watch SummerSlam at ringside, a few rows back. And I still remember being made fun of all my life. Professional wrestling, and now it is so freaking mainstream, it's not even funny. We move on. We segue because that's what we do. I want to start with something that's of import. Two other things. First off, Columbia University is paying $200 million. I guess you can call it a fine. I want to thank President Trump for doing what you had to do. Columbia University treated Jewish students like they were the dirt on the ground. They let people threaten them. There's video of students being blocked and being corralled by a bunch of these scumbags. They're lucky I wasn't one of the students. I would have kicked all their asses. So Columbia is paying the price. Harvard wants to fight it. Well, screw them. Up next, we'll finish that up. Hit the markets much more. I'm Gary. This is the one and only Investor's Edge. So, I'm Jewish, and this has nothing to do with you and your money and the markets. But I would say this if they did it to any race, creed, color, denomination, gender, short, tall, big, little, fat, skinny, wouldn't matter to me. What those stupid pricks did at these colleges, I cannot believe how bad the people running the colleges were. You saw the college presidents up on Capitol Hill when asked about it, that do you believe in the death of the Jewish state that these people are calling for? Well, it has to depend on the context. They were women, all three of them. If they were men, I would have jumped over those tables if I was there. Imagine going to school to study and you're having your life threatened by a bunch of scumbags because of your religion. And we all know that these morons running these colleges, if it was anybody else but Jews being harassed, imagine if it was the blacks. They would have been going nuts. If it was the gay community, what they would have done. We know what they would have done. So the penalties aren't even enough. I believe some of the presidents are gone. This latest one at Columbia used to be, I think, a journalist or an anchor. She's terrible. The fact that they have to pay tells you everything you need to know. I thank the president because that last president, the worst president we've ever had, and boy, we've had some bad ones, Joe Biden was doing nothing about it. I had to bring that up. But the other thing I got to bring up, so I compliment the president, but there's so much weird going on because yesterday there was, how do I put it? Japan. The president announced a massive trade deal with Japan. A massive. He used the word massive and explained what it was in specifics. Japan, and I quote, "There have been no discussions with President Trump regarding the implementation of this deal. Currently, there are no plans to sign a legally binding agreement. We have established a mutual understanding with the U.S. regarding the trade deal, but that's all." What have we told you about overpromising? I don't think the president's listening. I taught my kids a few things. One of them was, don't lie, don't overpromise, because first off, if you overpromise, you're going to disappoint. If you lie, you're going to have to cover it up. If you're found out, people are going to believe you're a liar and not believe anything you say going forward. I wish I could have a sit down with the dude. I think I could help out. I don't know if he'd listen. But man, oh man. There is no signed anything binding with Japan. Nothing. And I don't know if you know trade deals. Not much ever gets through. We'll be hopeful. Today in the market, Interesting that the Dow was down 316, but the S&P was up 4, which means that the technology stocks are up because technology is so huge to the market. The NASDAQ up 37, NASDAQ 100 down up 57. That was the story today, but advanced declines were sinister today. Could be meaningful, maybe nothing. Of note, in the Dow, IBM down 21.5 today. Ouch. That would be about 135 Dow points. Honeywell, a low beta name, down 15. About 95 Dow points. So between those two, no help. And yet a few. Oh, United Health. Oh my goodness. Down another 14 to 278. Talk about no help. Something about the Justice Department. And you can all thank me. Right? What have we told you to avoid more than anything recently? The managed care. They were ripped again today. MOH down 32 to 158. ELV down 16 to 280. Cigna down 10 to 293. And United Health, my goodness. Of note, decent though, was the AI semiconductors. Why? Yesterday, the president had this confab on AI, and the market was happy about that today and completely ignored the Dow. And you had Microsoft continues on. I believe they report next week. NVIDIA, as I mentioned, part of that AI. Broadcom up 4, Amazon up 3. That'll do the trick. Some of the biggies doing the heavy lifting today. But of note, and not to be ignored, you don't want to see too many bad advanced decline days while some of the big indices are up. Tesla down 28. And you know what I was doing today all day? Waiting for the defenders of Tesla. Because it's kind of been Teflon-ish, if that's a word. And all we keep hearing is, don't worry, they're doing robo-taxis and doing robots and this and that and all that fun stuff. All I can tell you is that it's weak, got weaker today, but it's had a reputation in the past, even on bad news, to get defended and turn up. It did not happen today. You got strong support in the 280 to 300 area, closed at 305. And by the way, the numbers stunk. Free cash flow was down a huge. May I state that for the record? Others of note, Chipotle down 7 to 45 3/4. Do you remember what I told you when they did their 50-for-1 split? That normally that's a sign near a top. It's exactly when the top was. Anyway, sales growth measly 3%, and earnings were down 3%. So my little small sampling of Chipotle came out true. Up next, we'll explain that, and Starbucks, and whatever else is going on in the market. I'm Gary. This is the one and only Investor's Edge. So, as you know, we do these little samplings, and we qualify them. But one of the things we told you was we thought Chipotle's business was soft. Softer. Coming true. And we ask questions. The other one, Starbucks. I can tell you where I go, business is way down. And you know how you know? Well, you just think about where you were and where you are. When you used to have 15 cars in the drive-through lane and now there's one. We'll see how that plays out. And I still don't get it. They bring in the new CEO, pay him big bucks. And he says, we are not going to lower prices, even though the world is price conscious. He's saying that because we're the elite. You know, we're like the Four Seasons of coffee. Well, we'll see. I hope it works out for them. I hope it works out for them. People a lot more price conscious now. We'll see. What else today that stuck out? I have to tell you, there was some good action, but still a lot of blow-ups going on. Google opened strong. This is of note. Was up 8, finished up $1.95. That's what is known as distribution. But there's some good movers in Deutsche Bank. United Rentals was up $72. $72 on 2% drop in earnings and a deceleration of sales growth of only 5%. And I look at what they said. I didn't see much, but strong action in United Rentals today. Blackstone, good move. T-Mobile, good move. NASDAQ, good move. On the other end, I mentioned a few on the downside. There were others. The home builders, which have tried to get out of here to the upside, well, TMHC, Taylor Morrison, got smoked today on their numbers. Southwest Airlines stock, which was acting much better, got smoked today on their numbers. Earnings down 26%, revenues down 1%. That ain't no hill for a climber. Coming up, let's see who hasn't reported yet. Apple has not. Amazon has not. Oh, by the way, excuse me. SAP with that big gap to the downside followed through to the downside today. Netflix, which had that gap to the downside, has been following through to the downside. Those are a couple of big names that not good. And you can now add Tesla to that. Not good. Coming up soon will be, I think Meta's next week. I'm pretty sure it's not tomorrow. That is correct. And Meta also. So there's some biggies to come. As always, we'll tell you the exact same thing we're thinking. And that is we have no clue what they're going to say or how they react, but we'll be on top of it. Now, I mentioned Chipotle, just letting you know, some of the restaurant stocks got yonked today with Chipotle. Just letting you know. Cracker Barrel was down 8%. Cheesecake Factory down 5%. Darden was down. Brinker International, which was strong, getting yacked. Shake Shack down 4 and change today. So it wasn't a very... Oh, Wingstop down 20 today, 6%. They report next week. So restaurants, not good. And as we have told you, if more and more areas show up on the lookout side, we'll let you know. But overall, as we've stated to you, if the financials are in shape, if the semiconductors are in shape, very tough to crack the whole market. Very tough. And the AI semiconductors, as Larry David would say, pretty good as of now. And the big banks, which were up much stronger early in the day and finished crappy because the Dow was down 300 and change, still in shape. If that changes, we'll let you know. But it is quite interesting. I'm going to do a little exercise tonight with my peeps. Wow, a lot of blow-ups. A lot of blow-ups in the market, and that may just be because we've had a good move up. But a lot of blow-ups. I was just noticing that Union Pacific blew up. They're only a rail company with like $25 billion in revenues. Down about 5%. And yeah, that's a blow-up for something like that. But overall, still in shape. The big indices refuse to buckle. Other notes, gold pulled back a little bit, but off the lows. And looks like a normal pullback right now. You can add the hospitals to the bye-bye. So hospital stocks in real bad shape. And we've been telling you, a lot of the healthcare, ew. So now throw hospitals into somebody took out the machete and cut them off at the knees. And as you know, we complain about them. I don't understand how I go in for a few hours and get a $26,000 bill. And then they charge me $5,000 for outpatient when I wasn't an outpatient, $6,000 for the emergency room when I was in there for 10 minutes. And then they had to change all the coding when I called up to complain, and they changed it to observation. Some of these hospital billing departments are full of crap. Speaking of that, you know what I have to do now? I'm turning 65 in October. I can do this Medicare stuff. I have no clue how to do it and what to do. But oh boy, am I getting a lot of mail on it. I guess everybody knows your birthdays, huh? Every day I'm getting 3 or 4 pieces of mail from every insurance company or every whatever that does that. Hey, you're about to da-da-da and Medicare this and Medicare that. And I started reading up on it. And you know, I think they just make it confusing on purpose. Seriously. Part A, Part B. What the hell is all that? Anyway, I'm going to figure it out. And I have no clue what to do, how to do it, but I'll figure it out. After all, when you look at your paycheck, see how much you pay in for all this crap. I also got my Social Security thing, by the way. You know, you get that every now and then. Hey, gee, they're gonna if I start taking Social Security, they're gonna pay me $3,000 a month. But if you wait a year, it's $3,300, and if you wait 2 years, it's $36. Gee, thanks. Do you know? I don't know the exact number. But if there wasn't Social Security, but I was forced to take all that money that I put into that Social Security pot and just put in an account and just bought 10-year bonds, and every 10 years I'd roll it over, just 10-year bonds. It'd be in my name still, not government, and I have a lot more money. And imagine if I just put it into an S&P fund, maybe 20% of it. What a great con. And just so you know, they did it for control because they don't think you can handle your own money. We didn't need Social Security. Oh, yes, we did. No, you didn't. Individual responsibility. You know, some of the Marxists were trying to get rid of our 401ks and put it in their hands a few years ago. You know that. They floated it. And they got kicked in the nuts within 15 minutes, and they shut it down pretty quickly. Remember, control and domination, that's what a Marxist loves. Says the mayor of New York, soon to be. By the way, he's probably going to win. Because the people in New York City, the voters, are insane. Are insane. Yeah, let's vote in a communist. Sure enough. Anything else sticking out? Well, there's just thousands more earnings to come. That's all I can tell you. And what I do is I mine them. Today I got this new list. Blackstone, Deutsche Bank. I'll take Google off because that reversed. LabCorp, NASDAQ, T-Mobile, United Rentals. We're always looking for the strongest reactions and why, but some of these have down earnings and we won't touch them. And we do ask the question, why would it be up that much? And the answer is, don't know. Hey, up next, what else is going on in the world? We'll figure it out. I'm Gary. This is the one and only Investor's Edge. Dun, 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 dun. So Trump is touring with the Powell and hard hats with the Federal Reserve, just an excuse to. It's such bull crap. I don't like what this administration's doing with targeting people, making them the enemy. And I'm no Jay Powell fan, but it's ridiculous. It is ridiculous. Just my opinion. I'm sure some of you will disagree. I don't care. There's a lot of retaliation going on. Not happy. You know what I want, right? This is less regulations, get the hell out of the way. Everything else is nonsense. Strong on crime. Strong on the border, which he gets an A+++++ for. If Trump did nothing else, what he's done with the border, A+++++. Saved lives. He's saving lives. But now they're doing a cover-up of the Epstein thing, and they're looking bad. They should just come out with, it's no big deal. We know what Epstein was, and we know he didn't commit suicide. He was murdered. Of course he was. Moving on. Interest rates. Calm. Oil prices. Calm. The economy in shape, not sizzling, not hot economy. The president saying the greatest economy ever. No, it isn't. But it's fine. Job market, fine. Housing market, well, guess what? Not affordable, by the way, because of Jay Powell. All this is an outcome of him. He should have been fired for that, not this other thing. And what we are seeing now in the housing market is fantasy land going away. I will tell you here in Florida, a ton of inventory, a ton of houses staying up for sale, and a ton of prices being dropped, and a ton of homes just being taken off because they're not being sold. You're in one of those moments. It has not gotten bad. I know there's a condo issue because of other things. Let's hope it doesn't get bad. And I really do believe all we are seeing is fantasy land prices coming back to some sort of norm. And when I mean fantasy land, I've been seeing homes that went 3 years ago for $1 million going up for 1.8. Houses that sold for $500,000 3 years ago, trying to be sold for $9 million. Some even higher. And I also look at the very high end. Wow, homes that went for $2.5 million 3-4 years ago, $6 million. And it just ain't moving. So we'll keep you informed on that, let you know. It's easily becoming more and more of a buyer's market in a lot of areas around the country. And I suspect that's going to continue for two reasons. Number one, the 3-7. Who wants to sell their home at 3% and get a 7? Then the affordability. Average person cannot buy a place in New York City. Wealthy people can't buy a place in New York City. And here in Florida, in some areas, wealthy people cannot get into nice country clubs right now. Too high. We'll let you know if it changes. We'll let you know if it worsens. But there's a rhyme and a reason. The home builders have been very weak for the last, year and change. They have bounced a little bit recently, but certainly not leadership. And now back on to earnings. Stay tuned. So far, okay. The good is gooder. The bad is badder. And we'll have a lot more in the next 2 to 3 weeks. I haven't even looked yet, but after the close today was Decker's, Intel, psh. VeriSign. Tomorrow will be Charter Communications, Gentex, a bunch. And then next week, look out. Apple, Amazon, Meta. And we'll get a better idea. But today, Google, big gap up, didn't finish well. Tesla, toast. And again, they just ain't selling cars like they used to, and all this dependency on robots, they better sell a lot of them. And robo-taxis, they better sell a lot of them, because they're not selling as many Teslas at all. And free cash flow, way, way, way down. We'll see what's next. My big worries, this second I really only have one. The president going nuts again on tariffs. That's the only worry I got this second. Yeah, there's some things breaking down. There's some areas, as I mentioned, still not in good shape. But until them financials and semis get gagged, I'm not so worried overall. That all said, you have a great evening. Drive carefully. When you get home, do like I do. Quite simple. Make sure you hug your family. Make sure you hug your children. They will feel better. You will feel better. I promise they will be well. Until tomorrow, good night.